Hello and welcome to the Loving Kindness Meditation for Wednesday here at the Dharma Bum Temple online class. My name is Alex. It is wonderful to be here with you this evening. Just kind of adjusting my camera to see kind of how this looks. And again, things are just kind of getting out of hand COVID wide, and we really thought it was the best case just to stay online for now. In California, cases are at about 100,000 a day. That's not very good at all, and we really want to keep everyone as safe as humanly possible. So here we are, and that's okay because we've been doing this for a long time. This is totally known to us, and we're going to be okay. So first of all, I'd like to say hello to all the people who said hello to me. So Brian and Linda, Tamara, Darcy. If that's my sister, Darcy, that would be just amazing. Uh, let me know. It could be. I doubt it, but you never know. I thought that was too much. Darcy's not a common name, and that is my sister's name. And my sister has a 33-year-old disabled child who needs 24-hour care. So the odds for actually being able to be on this call are incredibly slim. But hey, you never know, right? Hello, Christina from Hawaii. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you. Hi, Jean. It's nice to have you as well. My regular. Let's see who we have here. Okay, so there are a couple of people here who I have not seen, and so I'm just going to go over just the basics of what this class is and what this class is all about, and what we're going to do is. And so we're going to have this brief introduction here, and then we're going to do a meditation on loving kindness. And I'll get into what that is and what that word means that we're talking about, and what that word means now versus 2,500 years ago. And then we're going to, after we do our meditation, I'm going to open it up for questions. Nice. JK, thank you so much for being here. And then we're going to open it up for questions. I'm going to want to understand what your experience of meditation is. If you have any questions or concerns, especially with this lockdown, we've been on some sort of lockdown since, March of 2020. It's coming up on 2 years now. On one hand, we're very familiar with it, and so it's not a big deal for us here at the Dharma Bum Temple to do these classes live and online. But after a while, they kind of take their toll in various areas of our life, and that's okay. That's what we're here to talk about, and that's kind of what we're here to meditate on. This, for our new people, the word that we're talking about when we do a loving kindness meditation is this word called metta, M-E-T-T-A, metta. And this wonderful word from 2,500 years ago, from the Pali language. Actually, it's less than 2,500 years ago. It's like 2,000, or maybe even a little bit less than that. Hi, Cynthia. This word, when translated into English, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean unconditional friendliness, loving kindness, goodwill, and it's simply a wish to be happy. And it's not only a wish to be happy, it's a wish for ourselves and for others to do the things that cause happiness. And if you know the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple, you pretty much know what causes happiness. And the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. And that's what we're trying to do. Those are the things that we know through a lot of trial and error cause happiness. And I say trial and error. The Buddha said that these are the things that cause happiness, but he always says to try it out for yourself. And so hopefully we've tried it out for ourselves, and we see that these things actually do cause happiness. Because that's all anybody wants. We want that for ourselves. We want that for others. And so that's what we're going to do here in this loving kindness meditation. Oh, Sophia again. Hi, it's good to see you, of course. it's I'm always wondering if somebody wants to say anything before we start about kind of how you're doing and what is your mindset with kind of everything that's going on right now. Are you kind of used to it? Are you frustrated? Um, and again, it's kind of like meditation. Whatever your experience of meditation is whatever your experience is. And so I'm just kind of looking for a little bit of kind of how are you doing these days? And I know that there's about like a 10-second delay from the time you type something in till the time I see it, or from the time I say something for the time you hear it, and that's okay. And so I'm kind of wondering about that now. Here, like I said, whenever we started lockdown in March of 2020, I started working from home, and I still work at home, and it's good. It's easy to work from home, but even as an introvert, which is certainly what I am, or one of the words that would describe me, it gets hard after a while. It gets I don't get to see you, especially since we started doing some online classes some in-person classes in July, and I actually got to see you. Kind of got to see your faces, or most of your face, because you all had to be in masks, and most of the time, some of the time, so did I. It was nice. It was nice to actually get in my car and drive down to the temple and kind of get in the right headspace while I take my drive down there and then do the class and see faces and answer questions in person and all those different types of things. And it was really, really, really fun. And I thought that hey, isn't this great? Delta is kind of getting less and less, and we're getting better and better, and cases are going down. And I was super optimistic, and then here comes the new one, right? Here comes the new one. And it's frustrating for me, someone who is very much a vaccine advocate. I'm double vax and boosted. I understand the science. I listen to scientists. I read the studies. And so I understand, their safety and efficacy. And just to see so much resistance still to this day after however long the vaccine's been out, and it's unbelievably safe. And people still are just, it's really interesting. They're just holding on to their, unfounded conspiracy theories. And it's interesting, and it's, unsettling that regardless of whatever information that you give them, it doesn't matter. They're still going to believe what they want to believe because it makes them feel better to believe it. And so there's no, at this point, after 2 years, there's no arguing with them. And so if you ever, get into that position, even to give them information in a kind way, just don't. You're just kind of wasting your time. Brian and Linda, I'm disappointed that COVID keeps hanging on, but you're adapting, and that's good. It's good that you're adapting, and we're all adapting, and that I'm glad that you're doing that. And Christina says, I recently moved to Maui and caught COVID last week. I'm really sorry to hear that. Feeling very isolated, which is expanding my compassion for others, as so many of us are feeling this way. Yeah, absolutely. And, I work at a small company, maybe 13, 14 people now. And like 3 or 4 different people have had COVID in the last couple of weeks. And, I'm lucky I haven't. So Cynthia says, depends on what time of day, what day of the week. Sometimes great, sometimes mindful, sometimes feel the insanity coming on. Some midnight tears. Grateful for the DBT in me. Thank you so much. And that's just how it is. That's how it is with me as well, Cynthia. Sometimes I'm doing fine, and I'm like, yeah, I've done this before, and this is okay, and I could do this. And sometimes these feelings come over me too. Like, I really hate this. I hate this so much, and I just want to go out, and I just want to go to a coffee shop and I want to sit there with no mask and drink my coffee and read my book and look at TikTok and whatever else that I'm doing. And so these feelings come over me too, and I think the way that I deal with that is I still think of all the people who are getting COVID, and it's a lot more these days, and understanding what the symptoms are and everything is just really opening up to that compassion and not letting a lot of the denialism kind of get in my way and make me angry and frustrated, which it does sometimes. But just to open up to that compassion and that loving kindness in my own heart, and realize, that we say in this meditation is that this heart, your heart, my heart, our hearts have the capacity to have loving kindness for everybody. It has this limitless quality, which we're going to talk about and kind of look at during the meditation. And I think about that a lot, is that regardless of how frustrated I get, the heart has this potentiality, this potential for this limitlessness, and just through developing this practice of loving kindness. And I remember this morning at our morning meeting that we have online on Microsoft Teams, I was like, when it came to like information about COVID information, because I can get like that sometimes. I can get just because I get frustrated sometimes. But yeah, absolutely. We can get there, and so we'll explore that during this meditation. Steve says he's feeling optimistic right now. I've been consistent with my meditation as of late, and will be starting a new job working from home next Monday. Congratulations, Steve. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy for you. That's really, really good, and I'm grateful that you're in that space. All right. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this word, metta, that the word that we use for loving kindness. Now, this word comes from the Pali language, which is a very ancient language in India that we think is pretty close to what the Buddha spoke, the historical Buddha. The historical Buddha spoke the Magadhan language, which we think is pretty close to Pali. We're not terribly sure. They didn't keep amazing records back then, but we think it's pretty close. And so, when this word metta, gets translated into English. Oh, sorry. I had to do that really quickly. I lost you. There we go. Gets translated into English, all these years later. It could mean a lot of different things. It could mean loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill. And it's simply a wish to be happy. And so we think about this while we're doing the meditation. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this meditation in a little bit of a different way. We're first going to do it for our benefactor. And then we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us, right? And then we're going to do it for ourselves. And then we're going to do it for all beings in all directions. So there's a lot of focus on loving kindness that's really close to our hearts, whether it's loving kindness for ourselves, our benefactor, or another way to look at a benefactor is a loved one, or doing it for ourselves, or imagining our benefactor doing it for us. And I do it this way just very much on purpose. And because we need this more than ever, loving kindness for ourselves more than ever. It's the thing that will protect us from harm more than anything else. And that's what we're trying to do. If we can protect ourselves from harm, we can protect others from harm. And so we're kind of going to do it like that. I'm going to guide this meditation. I see some people I haven't seen before, so I'm going to go ahead and guide it. And so if you're worried about instructions, I'll give the instructions. All right, so if you're seated, just make sure that you have that good meditation position, that your feet are both on the floor with your legs a few inches apart. If you're seated on a cushion, just make sure that your cushion, so that your legs are a comfortable kind of cross-legged position, or in a way that you're seated in a way that you're not going to move around a whole lot. Your hands can be wherever. I just put my hands on my lap or on my legs, and your back is nice and straight. So I like to make my back super duper straight, and then just kind of relax so that my core, you can't see my core, I'm pointing to my core. My core is still somewhat engaged, but I'm still kind of relaxed, but my back is still straight. And then the eyes, usually I close my eyes, or you can half close your eyes, looking 45 degrees down past your nose like that, in this kind of soft, unfocused gaze. You can turn the computer away from you and just kind of listen to my voice and just let my words wash over you. Don't hang on to them too much. I'm just going to give you some basic instruction every like 5-6 minutes, and we'll just go on from there. Okay. Usually I say, are there any questions before we start? But with this delay, I'm not going to do that. So we've all got our questions out of the way. And how about we start and we do this loving kindness meditation? All right. Okay, so get into your meditation position. Make sure you're doing your heads on straight. And let's go ahead and start. And just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that nice seated position that's nice and sustainable and comfortable for you, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, because each Buddha has their own tree of enlightenment. And so you can make your tree a eucalyptus tree, or a willow tree, or an oak tree, or a sequoia, redwood, whatever it is. Imagining yourself underneath that tree, ready for the days abiding on loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill. And so at first, let's just get connected to the breath. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural at first. And still just paying a gentle attention to the breath here at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Letting the breath nourish the body. The breath is not just air, the breath is also energy. And the breath can energize those parts of the body that are sleepy or tired or sluggish in any way. Giving them energy and just getting it ready for this loving kindness meditation. So just for the next couple of minutes, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so, to begin our practice of loving kindness, we're first going to think of a benefactor. We're going to call this benefactor to mind. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness, someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. So easy, in fact, that these feelings just come naturally for this person because we've already experienced their love and kindness towards us. And this person can be almost anybody, mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, favorite teacher, or anyone who you've benefited from their kindness and love. You have this wonderful warm feeling in your heart for them. And so you call this person to mind. They could be living, they could be not living. It could be more than one person. And you just radiate loving kindness to them, wishing them happiness, wishing that they do the things that cause happiness. And however you understand that word radiate, I like to think of a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs. And this beam is nice and warm and it's vibrating just a little bit. And it's a nice warm color. Or if you want, you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them, like, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be healthy. But I just like to radiate loving kindness to them. And so we'll do this for the next few moments, loving kindness for our benefactor. So shifting our focus just a little bit from loving kindness for our benefactor to now we can imagine our benefactor, the same person or a different one, doing this practice for us. And you can imagine there's a beam of loving kindness coming from their heart into yours. And so you've already experienced their love and kindness towards you. That's why they're a benefactor. And so your only job here, the only thing that you have to do is just allow all of their loving kindness to penetrate your heart. Just let it all in. If there's any tension or tightness, that's okay. Can we then just use this breath energy just to give this tightness just a little space? We don't need to force it to do anything. Just give it a little space. And see if we can just allow more of that loving kindness into our own heart. This is where it really helps to smile. You could even put your hand over your heart like I'm doing. Just grateful for all of the loving kindness that our benefactor has given us over the years. So we'll do this for the next few moments, imagining our benefactor doing this practice of loving kindness for us. And we just receive all of it. And now, for probably the most important part of this practice, can we now have loving kindness for ourselves and do this practice for ourselves? And you can either just direct this beam of loving kindness kind of back onto yourself. You can imagine your heart getting bigger and warmer as you wish yourself loving kindness. And you call to mind all of the ways that you sabotage yourself, and you have compassion for that, and you say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. Those are phrases of loving kindness that you can repeat to yourself. Again, smiling, still, the hand over your heart, you can do that too. Breaking this pattern of self-sabotage that so many of us often have. Just gently, ever so gently, wishing loving kindness for ourselves. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And then finally, we can explore the limitless quality of the heart by doing this practice for all beings in all directions, whatever living beings there may be, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, the born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, omitting none, we offer them loving kindness. And we'll do this to end our practice. just open your eyes when you're ready. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. And just coming back here into the room. And so what we're going to do is just for the next 30 seconds, we're just going to be silent as we stretch. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. Love to talk about them with you. One of the things that was really interesting kind of sensation that kind of came over me, because this is now the second week that we went back online only, was that how natural it felt. Because we did this for so long, right? Like a year and a half, and then we went back to kind of in person as well. But I was kind of sitting in meditation, giving instruction, and this just felt really, really familiar. And I really liked that, that this didn't feel foreign, and that, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, I like to be in person with you guys, and I like to see faces and kind of just get that kind of person to person, just kind of energy exchange with you guys. But I can get it here too. And just to kind of realize that and feel like I'm not necessarily missing anything, that I have I have that connection. So that was really, really nice. Thank you, Cynthia, for sending Christina some love. And so, this is the part where, I'm always interested to understand, if you have any questions, comments, whatever you want to ask about. Hopefully the instructions were relatively straightforward, and that there are no questions there. But if you have any questions on the instructions, that's fine. But, really, what I'm looking to understand is either one, your experience of meditation, any part that was easier or more difficult for you this particular time, or just your general experience of meditation, of this loving kindness meditation. It's something that, we don't often, a lot of people don't often do. They just think, oh, I'll just kind of sit and I'll just kind of be mindful and watch my thoughts and all those different types of things. But, sometimes with loving kindness meditation, different types of feelings and sensations and emotions and come up, and, we can explore that and look at that together. Yeah. I was about to say something else, but I kind of forgot what it was, which is pretty normal for me. I was thinking about it when I was talking, and it's like, that's gone. I forgot. Nope, lost it again. Never mind. I was thinking that, let me see if I can remember now. It was a different type of feeling that I had, in meditation. It was about instruction. I know. Okay, sorry. I know I figured out eventually. And, one of the things that was really helping me, or happily helping me lately, is because, just like anybody else, just like any other meditator, thoughts come to mind while I'm meditating too, and they can be all sorts of different types of things. And something that I found that's really, really helpful And in Buddhism, we have so many strategies of dealing with different types of thoughts. One of the things that I like to do, I like to ask myself a question when I have these thoughts, just kind of distracting thoughts. I don't always ask myself, but I like to ask myself, so does this lead to suffering or the end of suffering? And that's really powerful for me because, in the Buddhist canon, there are said to be 84,000 teachings. 84,000. And the thing about the Buddha and Buddhism is that all of these teachings, all of the Buddhist teachings have one theme: suffering at its end. He describes suffering in different types of suffering, in different ways of looking at suffering, in different ways that people suffer, and then he tells you how to get out of it. So he describes suffering and then the end of suffering. And I say that a lot when I'm telling, especially when I'm telling stories, Buddhist stories, that there are these 84,000 teachings that really have one theme. He only ever talks about one thing: suffering and the end of suffering. And so when I have these distracting thoughts, I always think to myself, or I like to think to myself, do these thoughts, do they lead to suffering or the end of suffering? Now, a lot of thoughts can lead to the end of suffering. Thoughts that are of loving kindness, thoughts that are putting my mind making my mind glad, and happy and calm. Those are very skillful thoughts. But a lot of times I'm thinking of like something that happened earlier today or yesterday or 40 years ago. Literally, that's what happens sometimes. And then just to ask yourself that question, does this lead to suffering or the end of suffering, can be really, really helpful. All right. So we have somebody saying agape love to the DBT. Thank you so much. Always really appreciate that. All right. So the question that you have could also just be on Buddhism as well. Doesn't matter. Questions, comments, it's all good. It's really all good. It's weird because I always think everyone should have so many questions just because, all the stuff that's going on and all the craziness and, but it could be you're just kind of beat down and it's like, you don't want to ask any questions. You just kind of want to listen, and that's okay too. I can think of things to talk about. It's just really not a problem. Like I said, there are 84,000 teachings in the Buddhist canon, and I have here at my disposal, I'm just kind of looking at my library, just nothing but books and topics. I find it hard to sit still when I have muscle aches. So a couple of things. That's a great comment, because we all have muscle aches. Maybe it's from working out or just from working, or you just have muscle aches just because you have muscle aches. Sometimes stretching before meditation really, really helps. So, you can try that. That's one option, or one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do, or even just before that, like some sort of physical exercise. I was able to concentrate for a minute and then I get fidgety. Sure, that's normal. That's all just kind of normal stuff. Everything's just going great. I'm concentrated and everything is perfect. And then here comes the thoughts, right? Or here comes the muscle aches. And a lot of times what you can do is just really look at that muscle ache. You can really just kind of sit there and just, one, understand that you're having a muscle ache and just label it as such. Just say, aching. And that's it. And you can just return to the breath. And so just acknowledging that something is there without fighting it, without needing it to be any different than it is. Just notice aching. And that's the thing that you can always do when you have these muscle aches or physical discomfort. Even if it's during a loving kindness meditation, you can stop the loving kindness part of the meditation, and you can just do a body awareness. And part of body awareness is just to sit there and just notice, go through each part of the body and just say, oh, and just see what's there. And if something is aching, you can just label it as aching. You don't have to, it doesn't have, you don't have to make it any different. You don't have to wish that it's gone. Just notice and then come back to the breath and then move to the next part of the body. And so I used to do that a lot, but I haven't done that in a while ever since we started doing loving kindness meditation. But yeah, just be aware of it. It's okay. It's okay to ache. It's not a problem. All right, what else is going on, guys? We've got a couple minutes left here. You can see one of my little Buddha pictures. I have another one that way, looking at this one. And then I have like a little Buddha thing. You can't see. Anyway, my Walter. I do like the fact that I can just, when class is over, I could just click finish and then just be done. I don't have to drive home. Okay, what does heedlessness mean in Buddhism? I believe I saw in one of the precepts, but not one sure what it means. Doing something unskillful. Not being mindful is being heedless. When we talk about heedlessness, we talk about, usually this comes in relation to like drugs and alcohol. And so the precept is, I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicants or anything that causes heedlessness. Drugs and alcohol make our senses dull. And so you can also look at it as making things that make your senses dull. And that's what drugs and alcohol do. And so that's why we kind of take that precept, because if our senses are dull, our mind is dull. And we don't want our mind to be dull. We want to be mindful, not mindless. So that's kind of what we're talking about in heedlessness. But again, Steve, congratulations on your new job, and you start working from home on Monday. Hopefully between now and then you have some good time off and just, have fun. As fun as you can anyway. But guys, thank you guys so much for being here. It's wonderful to be here with you guys. It's weird how sometimes, like I was really tired, like around 5 o'clock today, 5:30. And so I took a nap. And even when I got up, I was just kind of sluggish until like maybe 5 minutes before class. And for some reason, I just kind of perked up and say, hey, I get to do class. And this was a great class, and I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you guys so much. Let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. So much love to all of you. Be safe out there, and we will see you next time. Bye there. Love you too, Cynthia. Bye-bye.